In the next lesson, we're going to learn about complaining. My Lord. Complaining. Okay, so I ask these questions. Why do we complain? Where does it come from, and what does God think about it? And so when we look at this story of the children of Israel, first of all, remember they've been ordered. God has prepared them. He's ordered them. He's organized them. He put them on their journey. He's blessed them. You know, He's given them the tools they need so that they can start marching toward Canaan. And yet, the first thing they started, they did not start it, y'all understand? Because then we're going to be starting in chapter 11. Because in chapter 10, you know, remember they was talking about, we was talking about the fire that, you know, carried them from place to place. And then when the trumpets blew, then they knew it was time to what? To get up and start going. So then, right here in chapter 11, the first thing, they just not started really good. Guess what they started doing? Complaining. My Lord. So what is complaining? Before we look at what is complaining, look at the next line. You got to complain. Define. It is to express dissatisfaction, resentment, pain, grief. It is to express grief, sorrow, or censure, finding fault, murmuring, lamenting, accusing of offense. It means to lament, to bewail, make a formal accusation, to make a charge, to give utterance to expression of grief, pain, regret, to lament, to find fault. I love this, you know, to queak or squeak as a timber or wheel, to murmur. Some synonyms: complain, grumble, whine, to complain. And then I wrote my own words. I said, up there I put my definition: whining, annoying, adult temper tantrum. That's what I call it.
Jesus.
Adult temper tantrum. When you think about it, that's what came to me today. What is it really when you complain? And then it's so annoying. You know what I'm saying? When people start complaining, it's so annoying. I don't know about y'all, but it gets on my nerve. You just complaining. What you complaining about? What you dissatisfied about? What you resentful about? You know, just whine, complaining. You know, and so 1 Corinthians 10 and 11 said, do not murmur in unwarranted discontent, as some of them did and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now these things happened to them as an example. Y'all hear that? As an example and a warning to us. They were written for our instruction, to admonish and equip us. So then that was Paul letting us know that, you know, these people went through all of that. And so I tell y'all all the time, and y'all heard me say this, learn from other people's example. Go through, learn from other people's testimonies, what they've been through in life. That's what the scripture really saying. He said that it was given to you so that what? That you were written for your instructions. So you can equip you. That you don't go down that same road that they ended up going down because of their murmuring wrong. Because in case you don't know, God can't stand it. It drives them nuts when we complain. So let's look at the first. We've got a couple of them, so let's look at the first. The first one, I need somebody to read it. Let's see it out of either the NIV or the Amplified, that's fine. Chapter 11, verses 1 through 3.
Now, the people became like those who complain and whine about their hardships, and the Lord heard it. And when the Lord heard it, I'm sorry.
Now the people became like those who complain and whine about their hardships. And when the Lord heard it, and the Lord heard it. And when the Lord heard it, his anger was kindled. And the fire of the Lord burned among them and devoured those in the outlying parts of the camp. So the people cried out to Moses, and when Moses prayed to the Lord, the fire died out. He named that place Taberah, the place of burning, because the fire of the Lord burned among them.
All right, y'all see that? First thing, it said that they complained about their hardships. They complained about the hardship. And that's what you said? They complained about the hardship. Now, you know, we've said before now, if you think about what they were going through, which they were going through a hard time, having to leave the place that they had been living all that time, even though Egypt was a place of bondage, it was still the place that they knew. This is where we lived. And so now we're out here in the wilderness. That means things are a little different. You know how you know, I don't know about you, but sometimes when you travel a whole lot, you always want to go back home. And you be like, Lord, I'm glad when I get back to my bed. Get back to your own bed. Well, just think about these people, they didn't have a bed to go back to. So we travel. We're just going from place to place. And so what they started complaining about their hardship. And guess what? It displeased God. Y'all see that? Mm-hmm. The people cried to Moses. And well, first of all, in verse 1 it said, the fire of the Lord burned among them. What was the Lord's response? He get ready to wipe them out now. Y'all got this not started, and y'all start complaining already. You might not like where you lay, but at least you got somewhere to lay.
Jesus. Okay.
You know? And so then, who had to intercede? Moses got to intercede for him. God, no, y'all ain't started this already. You know. So Moses had to intercede for him. And the people, they didn't even cry to God. Y'all notice that? What did verse number 2 say? They cried out to Moses. That's a problem right there. Yeah. They cried out to Moses. And Moses intercepted on their behalf. And then, so they call that place the place of Taberah, meaning the fire of the Lord that burned among them. So that's it. Complaint number 1. All right? Let's go on. Complaint number 2. Keep going, Sharice. Verse 4 through 9.
The rabble among them who followed Israel from Egypt. The rabble.
Y'all hear that? I want y'all to remember that word, rabble. Go ahead.
Who followed Israel from Egypt had greedy desires for familiar and delicious food. And the Israelites wept again and said, who will give us meat to eat? We remembered the fish we ate freely and without cost in Egypt, the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now our appetite is gone. There is nothing at all in the way of food to be seen but this manna. The manna was like coriander seed, and it looked like bdellium. The people went out and gathered it, and ground it in mills, or beat it in mortars, and boiled it in pots, and made cakes with it. And it tasted like cakes baked with fresh olive oil. When the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna fell with it.
Y'all hear that? So now this is a real problem right here. But first of all, they start complaining about the provisions that who gave? God gave. That ain't good enough.
Okay, that's falling from the sky.
You got food falling from heaven. Only thing you got to do is go out there and pick it up off the ground.
Jesus.
But that ain't good enough. So then what happened? That rabble. Who was the rabble? Anybody know?
The Egyptians that came with them.
Egyptians, yeah. So it could be some of the Egyptians, or you know how people marry, some of the Egyptians and the Israelites married together. People that had been enslaved along with them. So remember now, so that lets you know that the rabble are people that's among you that don't think like you think.
There you go. That was deep.
Yeah.
Y'all understand? This is the children of Israel. The rabble are not the children of Israel. So that means what? They don't think like us. They don't understand that Yahweh is our God. They don't understand that Yahweh is the provider. He's the one that keeps us and watch over us. They just know that when the thing went down over in Egypt, these people getting to come out free. So guess what? We jumping on the bandwagon. Y'all understand? Y'all ain't leaving us down here in Egypt. We caught with y'all, so we going with y'all. Because look like the blessing is with y'all, so we going with y'all. So don't necessarily mean they believe like they do. It's just like we going because we see something on y'all that we don't understand, so we going with y'all. But what happened with the rabbi? Then they the one that start complaining, and rather than the children of Israel putting them in their place, what did they do?
Join them.
They join in with
Blocking your blessing.
bad influence. That's one thing. When people among you begin to complain, and rather than you stopping that complaint, you join in with them. Child, you know you telling the truth. That's what happened. You are so right. What he said, down there? We sure did have fish in Egypt. We sure did have cucumbers and melons. We sure did have leeks and onions and garlic. Now look at verse number 6. Our whole being is dried up. There is nothing at all except this manna before our eyes. That's a menace. So then what does that tell us? That you have to be careful with the people that you're listening to. Are these people of God? You have to be suspicious of people when they start, with little words and dropping little seeds and dropping little hits. You can't do that. Not as the children of God, especially when you're out there in that world. People say all kinds of things. And you catch your mouth running your mouth. It don't even have to be about things about the church. It could be about your job. It could be about your boss. It could be about your coworker. It could be how late you got to work tonight. Remember, we're the children of the kingdom, and God does not expect for us to be acting like the people of this world. That's what they do. You don't talk about the man that writing your paycheck. Are you kidding me? Whose name's on there? Those people's name ain't on that check. And you letting them stir up trouble for you if you're not careful. Okay? So they begin to complain about the provision that God made. Oh my God. Y'all hear that? They are complaining about the provision that God is giving them. Y'all think God like that?
Nope.
I don't think so either.
Gonna burn them up.
I'm going to jump all the way over because I need to come back to but look over here at what was God's response to that. So let's look over at no, it's still in 11. It's over at it's near the end about.
What are you talking about?
It's so much. I don't know where to start at. Yeah, it's over there talking about the quail.
31.
Let's go back up a little bit to when starting at verse 16, God began to tell Moses what he's going to do, and it comes all down to Moses and God going back and forth. And then about verse 30, about verse 30, Moses returned to the camp, both he and the others, and then starting at verse 31, so the wind comes and the quail becomes to come in with the wind. On verse number, do y'all see, down to verse 34. Well, let's start at 31. Read 31 through 35, Sharice.
Okay. Now there went forth a wind from the Lord, and it brought quail from the sea, and let them fall, so they flew low beside the camp, about a day's journey on this side and on the other side, all around the camp, about 2 cubits, 3 feet deep on the surface of the ground. That's a lot of quail. The people spent all that day and all night and all the next day and caught and gathered the quail. The one who gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them out for themselves around the camp to cure them by drying. While the meat was still between their teeth, before it was chewed, the anger of the Lord was kindled. The anger of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord struck them with a very severe plague. So that place was called Kibroth Havath, the graves of greediness, because there they buried the people who had been greedy, far more than the manna that God provided. For more than the manna that God provided them. From Kibroth Havath, the people set out for Hazor, and they remained at Hazor.
Okay. Look back at verse 34. So he said, he called the name of the place Kibroth Havath because there they buried the people who had yielded to what? Cravings, or yielded to what? Greediness. Did y'all say greediness? Greediness. So then, what was that all about? So, this mixed multitude, or this rabble, these people, their desire, their passion, what they wanted was greedy.
Gluttonous.
It was gluttony. They wanted more. I don't want this little bread that's falling down from heaven. I want some meat. And then he actually said, who gonna get meat for us? That's in verse 4. So you've forgotten all about Yahweh. Yahweh's the one making provisions for you. And now you're trying to figure out how you gonna get meat and who gonna bring it to you. The Lord of the harvest, God is blessing you, cause you to come out of a place of bondage into a place of freedom. You're on your way, and then you lost something as simple as food. Provisions from God that you don't even have to work for. Only thing you got to do is pick it up off the ground. But your cravings for the things that you left behind have you forgetting who God is already.
Jesus.
Yeah. Looking back. Remember we talked a couple weeks about that. Looking back. Desiring. Having greed for. Having a craving for those things that you left behind will hinder you from being able to move forward. So they thought they wanted meat, but by the time God finished with them, I guarantee they want no meat.
I know that's right.
Food poisoning.
He was like, no. Why did he do that? So he, sometimes God have to put a check on us. Are you really forgetting who you are and what I'm doing? We're gonna come back a little bit more about that. I'm gonna look at the next one. Let's go to chapter 12. Still complaining. I'm showing you all these instances of complaining, all right? Chapter 12, verse 1 through 3.
Now Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married. For he had married a Cushite woman. And they said, has the Lord really spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken also through us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very humble, gentle, kind, devoid of self-righteousness, more than any man who was on the face of the earth.
All right. So then now we got another kind of problem. So now the people complaining about the stuff. Now you got leaders, I would say supportive leaders talking about the primary leader. Now, it starts out talking about him with the Cushite woman, but that y'all know that's not the real problem. The real problem is they think that Moses is getting more attention than they are. That's what it says, because then the one thing about the Cushite, they don't, So what does happen? So sometimes people start out with one thing, they start talking about why he married that Cushite. The next thing, well, who told him he's the boss, Is he the only one get God talked to more than just Moses? So he jumped all the way from talking about his wife, to talking about, he ain't the only leader. God talks to us. Don't he talk to us? Uh-oh. You in trouble. Y'all know they're in trouble, right? You don't do that. She said, they put Miriam first. Miriam the one ended up with the leprosy. And people, I don't know if it's true, but people have said that she was the leader. She was the reign. She the one that stirred it all up. So she the one that stirred it all up. She got in trouble. I've heard people say that. I don't know. They said, well, why didn't Aaron get the leprosy? Well, some people said it was because Aaron had on what? The holy garments. Who was wearing remember who Aaron was? He was who? The high priest. So the high priest had on the holy garments. So he couldn't hit him because he was protected. That could be so. Either way, it could be so. All we know is that She got it. Both of them complained. She got it. And then God responded by he had to explain to them who Moses was. That's a shame. And not only that, but y'all do know Moses was their brother. Mm-hmm. The three of them.
He was the baby brother, right?
Yes, he was the baby brother. He was their brother. So they really probably had problems with him then, you know. So God had to respond. Read 4 through 10.
Suddenly the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, come out, you three, to the tent of meeting, tabernacle. And the three of them came out. The Lord came down in a pillar. The Lord came down in a pillar of cloud and stood in the doorway of the tabernacle. And he called Aaron and Miriam, and they came forward. And he said, hear now my words. Come on, baby. Let's see. Hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in a vision, and I will speak to him in a dream. But it is not so with my servant Moses. He is entrusted and faithful in all my house. With him I speak mouth to mouth directly, clearly and openly, and not in riddles. And he beholds the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Miriam and Aaron, and he departed. But when the cloud had withdrawn from over the tent, behold, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron turned and looked at Miriam, and behold, she was leprous.
Okay. So then, this is something that, you know, we have to be careful too, is when we complain about what the leadership is doing. We don't necessarily agree with the leadership. And why did God get so angry with them about that was because, again, who are they talking about? They're not really talking about Moses. They're talking about God's ability to give them a leader that could lead them and guide them. That's really what they were saying. When you get to the heart of it. Because when you look back at the book of Exodus and see how God had really orchestrated Moses' life, and when the people of Israel down in Egypt began to cry to God that we need a deliverer, God had already had Moses in place so he could stay right in that place and be the one who brought them out. Nobody else could do that. Nobody else could do that. God had set his life up just for that purpose, to be able to bring the children of Israel out. And they already knew that he had done that. Aaron knew that. Miriam knew that. All these people knew that. And so now they're out here. We're on our way. We're journeying. Moses is making decisions. He's interceding on behalf of the people. He's got to carry it forward. And for whatever reasons, you know, this little bee getting her honey, and she began to start complaining about him in the Cushite woman. And from there, she's going on to talk about other things. That's why God is talking about us and our communication, us and what we're saying. We have to be careful with the things that come out of our mouths. That's why the psalmist said, "What? Put a guard over my lips, O God." You can't say whatever you think. Just because it come in your head, you dare not start, saying it to other people. Because now you got other people joining in with you, just like that mixed multitude did. They started, and then everybody would join in. It should have been somebody in there to say, "Hold up, wait a minute, we shouldn't be going this way." But most of the time, we don't do that. We say, "Well, I didn't say this," but you listen, so it's the same thing. Instead of putting a stop to it. You don't let nobody talk about your leadership. You don't talk about your leadership, and you don't let other people talk about your leadership. You don't do that. You get in trouble, because you see what happened to Miriam. And y'all know later on when Aaron took off those holy garments, guess what happened to him? He died.
Oh, he died.
So ain't gonna caught up with him. His end. Took the garments off, and that was it for him. So you don't complain about the things of God because you're not complaining about the leader. You're complaining about who? About God. All right, let's go on one more. This book of Numbers is full of, but I just did a few. This is the last one I'm gonna do for the night. For this one. Numbers 14. 14. Let's go to Numbers 14.
Oh, the chapter 14.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Numbers chapter 14, verse 1 through 4.
I got 13. Is there Numbers 14?
Chapter 14.
Yes, 14.
Yeah, chapter 14. We're going to skip over chapter 13.
Okay, I got it. I don't know why it was right there. Okay.
Then all the congregation of Israel raised their voices and cried out, and the people wept that night. All the Israelites murmured in discontent against Moses and Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, "Oh, that we had died in the land of Egypt, or that we had died in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land of Canaan to fall by the sword? Our wives and children will become plunder. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt?" So they said one to another, "Let us appoint a new leader and return to Egypt."
Oh my, is right. Isn't that something?
Okay.
So what was this problem? So this problem was, you got to read the book of chapter 13 to understand what was going on with this. So chapter 13 is a story about the spies. Y'all remember that Moses had sent 12 spies into Canaan to check it out. This is their promised land now. Y'all going to the promised land, which is Canaan. He sent 12 spies into Canaan to check it out, tell us, and come back and give us a report. Okay? So what happens? They go over there 10, give what? A bad report. Only 2 give a good report. You say, how is that power? It depends on your mindset, what you see. Okay? 12 people went in, but they were 2 saw the goodness of the Lord in it. And so what did they do? Instead of listening to the 2, they listened to the 10. And so what they allowed to happen, what? Fear set in. Fear set in, and when fear set in, what? That really stops your progress. Fear stopped their progress. Joshua and Caleb said, we can go in, that ain't nothing. There's no stuff y'all talking about. We are very well able. We're the children of God. Don't you know who we are? Don't y'all remember we're the children? We can take this. Let's go on in. No, here they go. They start complaining and weeping and crying and carrying on. Oh, if we had died in Egypt. Oh, if we had died in the oh, why? Just on and on and on. And so they missed what God was trying to do for them. They missed it. Look at verse number 20, Sharice. Y'all have to read the rest of it. Yeah, 14 and 20.
Okay. Where you want me to stop at?
This that verse.
Okay. So the Lord said, "I have pardoned them according to your word.
21. Go ahead, read 21.
But indeed, as I live, all the earth will be filled with the glory of the Lord."
Y'all have to read the whole chapter on your own. Okay, 13 and 14. So what happened? So in the meantime, when these people started complaining, God said, look at verse 11. He said to Moses, "How long will these people reject me? And how long will they not believe me? With all the signs which I have performed among them, I will strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and I will make of you a nation greater and mightier than them." Y'all see that? So what? Pretty much y'all had said, you know what? I'm tired of this, because y'all not getting it. I'm trying to take y'all to a place of promise. I'm trying to get you there, but every step of the way, y'all keep getting stopped. Y'all get stumbling all around. Y'all keep not having faith in me. You don't have confidence in me. So I'm just going to tell you what, I'm just going to wipe all y'all out. We're going to start off. That's what he said. Oh, the Lord said to Moses, I'm just going to wipe them all out because they're not getting it. Their mind is not making that transition. Remember, we're supposed to be transformed. That mind is not transitioning.
Right.
You know, so I'm just going to wipe it out. We're going to start it over. And only because what Moses interceded on the behalf of the people that God did not wipe them out. Now this is the lesson that I learned about forgiveness. God did it. God said, okay, I'm forgiving them, but they're not going to the promised land. You can forget that. What? Yes, he did. What was the forgiveness? He let them live.
Yep. And he kept them. Their clothes.
He kept them. He provided for them, but they were not going over there with that old slave mentality into the promised place. So I'm going to pardon them. I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to let them live, but I will not let them go in the promised land. Don't tell me, God, you know, it's like it never happened. No, it's just like, you know how people say that's what forgiveness is, like it never happened. That ain't true. Because if it was like it never happened, then what? You would have let them go in the promised land.
That's true now.
You know? And so we have to be the same way. Sometimes we don't let people back to where they was in our life when we talk about forgiveness. People like to tell you that child just like it never happened. You ought to treat it. No, I forgive them for what they did, but they're not coming back to my house. You can forget that because they stirred up too much trouble.
All right now.
I still talk to them, but they ain't coming back in my house. You know, something like that. I'm just giving you all this time. That's what God said. God said right in verse 20, she read. I have pardoned according to your word. Because you asked me, Moses, guess what? I'm going to let them live. But they is not going over. Nobody but my servant Caleb. Look at 24. Let's back up to 22. Read 22 through 25.
Surely all the men who have seen my glory and my miraculous signs which I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, yet have put me to the test these 10 times and have not listened to my voice,
10 times,
will by no means see the land which I swore to give to their fathers, nor any who treated me disrespectfully and rejected me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he was a different spirit and had followed me fully, I will bring into the land into which he entered, and his descendants shall take possession of it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites live in the valley. Tomorrow turn and set out for the wilderness by way of the Red Sea.
All right. Y'all see that? So now we got to make a turn. We ain't going to the place of promise. Now we got to turn. Now we start going out, going in the wilderness, all around and around in a circle now until y'all die out. Yep. That's what's happening. You don't get to go over because y'all have tested me too many times. I'm just going to let you live. And you could, you know, since Moses interceded for you, I'm going to let you live, but y'all not going over. Just those few, Caleb and Joshua, whoever else, you know, I think 21 and under or something like that, whatever that age was. Those are only ones go in. Because what he could not, you know, remember we said that the purpose of the journey was for them to be what? Transformed. And they were not being transformed. They were just being stubborn. Because even after that, if you read the rest of chapter 14, he done told them you ain't going up. Now they was just like, oh, okay, we gone. Well, it's too late.
Right.
Now you're going to take it on yourself. You're going to go over there and bunch of them got killed up. You know, because they decide, okay, we going. I got you now. Come on, let's go. No, it's too late. You missed that.
Yep.
So you can't go. So let's talk about this complaining. What I got up next? Oh, I forgot about it. I want to go back for a second to chapter 11. Moses complained. Verses 10 through 15. Chapter 11, verse 10 through 15. I put it at the end because I want to talk about that one a little bit.
And also in the day of rejoicing and in your appointed feast. I'm in the wrong chapter.
Chapter 11. We're going back. This This is Moses' response after they complained about the food.
All right. Now Moses heard the people weeping in self-pity throughout their families, every man at the doorway of his tent, and the anger of the Lord blazed hotly, and Moses regarded their behavior as evil. So Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you been so hard on your servant? And why have I not found favor in your sight, that you have placed the burden of all these people on me? Was it I who conceived all these people? Was it I who brought them forth, that you should say to me, carry them in your arms as a nurse carries the nursing infant to the land which you swore to their fathers? Where am I to get meat to give to all these people? For they weep before me and say, give us meat so that we may eat. I am not able to carry all these people alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. So if this is the way you are going to deal with me, please kill me at once, if I have found favor in your sight, and do not let me see my wretchedness."
And that's so now what you got? You got a frustrated leader. Like, my goodness, this is what I got to deal with. Pretty much, he said to God, is this what I got to deal with? These people, about something as minuscule as food.
Right.
If this is what I got to deal with from here to the promised land, go ahead and take me out now. Take me, Lord, take me now. Moses said. And then, God goes on and answers him. But then, this is why I put that on there. So, tell me, I want y'all to think about this. What was the difference between Moses' complaint and the other people's complaint? Okay, so she said that it was Moses was out of frustration because of the people. What y'all say?
Yeah. That's the way I see it.
Anybody else? Why was Moses' complaint okay, in other words?
Because he spoke it unto God and not to the people.
What you said, Kim?
He spoke it unto God.
He cried out to the Lord. There you go. He cried out to the Lord and not to the people. And this is the thing about complaining. We'll talk about it. Go to the next slide, Ira. The source, where do we'll go to the next. We'll come back to that. Where do the source of complaining come from? That's what makes the difference. Where do your complaining come from? What is the source of your complaining? Why are you complaining? And who are you complaining to? Because they complaining. So really, let's go back to the first story. They complained about their hardship. They talking what? Did they ever ask God, have mercy on me, God, or whatever? No, they complained to each other about we having a hard time. Second time, they're not talking to God. Who they talking to each other about God? No, that they was talking about God. God, we was sending these this little food, this little manna from heaven. You're sending this down here. You so really you grumbling what about God? Third one, Miriam and Aaron. They talking among themselves. They talking about the leader among themselves. Are they talking to God? No, they again complaining about God. So Moses' complaint is not to the people. His complaint or his concern or his cry is going out to who? To the Lord. So that lets us know that in life, we will have frustration. We will have hard times. And God understands that, but He don't want us to be murmuring, complaining about Him. We need to do what? Go to the Lord in prayer. Go to Him, call on His name, seek His face. Because it shows, what's this verse say? Proverbs 19:3. Somebody go there. Proverbs 19:3. What is that?
It says, the foolishness of man undermines his way, ruining whatever he undertakes. Then his heart is resentful and rages against the Lord. For being a fool, he blames the Lord instead of himself.
You hear that? Read it one more time. Read it in that microphone so they can hear you.
It says, the foolishness of man undermines his way, ruining whatever he undertakes. Then his heart is resentful and rages against the Lord. For being a fool, he blames the Lord instead of himself.
You see that? So then complaining, you mad at God. You don't think God did you right. You don't think God did this right. Instead of you looking at yourself with your ungrateful self, unappreciative self, unthankful self, how God has brought you out of darkness into his marvelous light. You're over here in the light of God, forgetting how much God has already done for you, and you're over here, so you can't have the kind of car you want, you don't have the job you want, you don't have the spouse you want, and so you begin to do what? Complain. And when you complain, you're not talking to God, you're just talking to people, one another. Or even sometimes you're talking to yourself. Just complaining, whining, carrying on. That's what it said. Your heart towards God is not right. All right, look at Psalm 78 and 8. What did it say? Go ahead, Vanessa. Psalm 78 and 8.
It says, and not be like their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that did not prepare its heart to know and follow God, and whose spirit was not faithful to God.
Y'all see that? Yeah. Say it, read again.
And not be like their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that did not prepare its hearts to know and follow God, and whose spirit was not faithful to God.
That's right.
Amen. So then that shows you that people who complain, their heart is not really toward God. That's what that scripture said. You know, she just read. Their spirit is not what? Faithful to God. Say it again. Their hearts are not prepared to know and follow God, and their spirit is not what? Faithful to God. So then, you could be over here saying that you saved, but your heart is not really, you just want to be in the number. You want to be among, but you don't want to be committed to God. And so if you're not committed to God, any little thing in life that comes your way going to do what? It's going to make you go over to that place of, why me, Lord God? So-and-so didn't get it like that. Why I got it like that? Why I got it? Because if you understand God and know God, then what? God calls us to have, this life is a life what? Of faith. And we understand that Jesus said what? In this life I will have what? Tribulation. So just because I belong to God don't really mean that I won't have situations in my life. And once I know that, if I'm committed to God, then what? It will cause me to rise up in faith and not fear, not anger, not frustration. Because in my frustration, what I'm going to start doing? Complaining. I don't see why I got to go through this. So-and-so didn't have to go through this. And then we begin to look at other people. We've talked about that, how we look at other people's lives and see how good their life look. Or we think their life is so wonderful. Right. When you don't really know. We're looking over, on the outside, looking in. And we begin to complain. Your heart is not right with God. That's where complaining comes from. So, your heart is not right with God. What's the next one? James chapter 4. Ooh, Jesus. James chapter 4.
Yeah, James.
Okay. 1 through 3.
It said, what leads to the unending quarrels and conflicts among you? Do they not come from your hedonistic desires that wage war in your members, fighting for control over you? You are jealous and covet what others have, and your lust goes unfulfilled. So you murder. You are envious and cannot obtain the object of your envy. So you fight the battle you do not have because you do not ask it of God. You ask God for something and do not receive it because you ask with wrong motives, out of selfishness or with an unrighteous agenda. So that when you get what you want, you may spend it on your hedonistic desires.
You know what I'm saying?
Good Lord.
So then where does the source of complaints come from? It comes from a place of wrong motives, wrong desires. Remember, go back to that greediness, that place of greediness, that place of covetousness, jealousy, envy, strife. I want that. And I'm willing to do whatever's necessary to get that. And then so when I don't get it, then what do I start doing? Complaining. That's what happened to those children of Israel over there. When they didn't see the meat, then they started, wondering, why can't I have meat? I used to have it. I had it before. I ate steak before. I went to Red Lobster, it was so full. Why I got to go to McDonald's now? Your motives are wrong. Your heart is not in the right place. So complaining, the source of complaining is really from your heart. What's on your heart? What's on the inside of you? What are your desires? What do you want? Because if your heart was in the right place with God, then guess what? You want the things that God wants. When you do have different situations that come in your life, then you're going to look to God. You're going to do like Moses did. Moses didn't cry to him. He cried to the Lord. Lord, have mercy. Now come on, good God. Now these here people, that's what he did, and that's what we should do, All right, go back to that other slide. I asked y'all. Go back. What are some of the things we complain about today? Anybody? What are some of the things we complain about?
Money.
All right, money.
Other people.
Huh?
Other people.
Other people.
Leaders.
Huh?
Leaders.
Leaders. Jobs.
Family.
Kids.
Too hot or too cold?
Husbands, spouses.
Too hot or too cold?
Too hot, too cold.
Too cold?
Yeah.
On and on and on.
Yeah.
On and on and on. So then what does that mean for us? Then we need to check ourselves. That's what God says, you need to check yourself. Are you a preacher that you're alive, that you can feel the hot and the cold? Are you a preacher that you have a spouse? You're a preacher, you got a job? Instead of complaining about the one you have, you got one, you got income. You got a spouse, you got children. It's the heart of the situation. That's what God says, the heart. So that when your children do act up, you ain't going to be fussing to everybody. You might fuss at them to get them straight, but you ain't going to be talking to other people about how bad your children are.
All right.
You will go to the Lord. You should take that to the Lord. Father, in Jesus' name, these children.
Okay, now.
They got to get on my last nerve, Father. I know. Now, you call them blessed and highly favored, but right now they're not acting that way. That's what Moses said. That's what you do. You don't start telling everybody, child, I don't know what I'm going to do with these bad children. Everything I get them, they don't never be appreciated. The only thing they want is more and more and more. You take that to the Lord. You don't complain and mourn and grumble. You get too hot, you go in the air conditioner. We small. I'm telling you, we small.
We are.
Yeah, we definitely are that.
Too cold, turn you some, why you got to complain about it?
Pull some clothes.
You got air conditioning in your house, you got air conditioning in your car, you got air conditioning on your job.
Yeah.
You go in the store, if you ain't got that house, go walk around in the store, they got air conditioning. Just go ahead. Complain. I've done it. I'm going to sit in this mall.
Yes, God. I do that.
Help us, Lord. That's what God help us, Lord. We just complain all the time, and you know what? God don't like it. That's the whole thing. That's why I put the book. God don't like it. He does not like complaints. He does not like, because just like I said, sound like an adult temper. Do you let when your children act up them temper tantrums? Little bad children, you ever seen them in the store acting a fool, you be wanting to drag them. You can you need to get a hold of that right there.
Beat them.
Hug them real tight.
Ooh, beat them.
And that's how God be looking at us when we start
My Lord.
You look at the child like that, he want to snatch you up. That's what he want. If Moses had not interceded for those people as much as he interceded for them, them people would have got wiped off the face of the earth.
Help us, God.
New breed.
Moses stood in the gap on their behalf.
Forgive us, God.
He said, God, you can't do that. You don't want to brought these people out here. Now you go bring them out here and then you will let them die in the wilderness. Then people all around will say that you didn't have the strength or the power to be able to keep them. Is that what you want? And because of his love for Moses, I don't even think it was what Moses said, but because Moses asked. Because remember, when he explained to Aaron and Miriam who Moses was, me and Moses got this kind of relationship where I talk face to face to Moses.
Mouth to mouth.
He is a faithful, and I believe in him. I trust in him. So because of Moses' intercession, the people were allowed to live. Because God was like, they complaining, all I've done for them. How many times I have showed my signs, my miracles? How many times I blessed them? Even now, us. How many times I brought you out? How many times have I gone over and over and over? Next thing I know, here you go, complaining about I ain't got no money. But why you don't have the money? I ain't got this, I ain't got that. Oh, I wish I had that. Oh, I wish I had that. Why they got it and I didn't get it? They look like they don't have no problems. I'm always going through. So turn that into prayer. Don't turn that into complaints. Turn that into prayer to God. Turn that into prayer to God. What was the name? What else I got there? Go back to that. Go back to that result. I said the results of complaining is that God hears you and He gonna respond.
You might not like to respond. You gonna respond.
You can look at him back there and you know every one of those situations that we talked about tonight, every one of those complaints, God responded. And it wasn't in a good way. Now, I want to hear that. You out here, I'm trying to get you over here somewhere. Drop off that mentality. Drop off that fear. Drop off all those thoughts, those wrong thoughts, those greediness, that greediness. Drop those things off. I'm trying to get you over there because you can't have that. You don't need that over in the promised land. You don't need to be greedy. I'm going to provide for you over there. Just like I'm providing for you here. I'll provide for you over there too, but you just got to trust me. That's the whole thing about all of this, about the complaint. You got to trust me to know what I'm doing in your life. That's all of us. Y'all hear that? God wants us to know that He knows what He's doing with us in our lives. We just got to respond to God in the right way. Respond to in prayer and not in complaints. Don't let jealousy, envy, strife, and those things be the rule in your life where you're looking at other people cross-eyed. You don't know their life. You don't know people. People really think they know people when really you don't. You don't really know people. You don't really know what people are going through.
That's right.
You really don't know people's battles because people are not telling you everything. You know? So instead of complaining, you see that one? Instead of complaining, you ought to pray and intercede just like Moses did for everybody. Philippians talks about holding fast to the word of life. Thessalonians talk about you need to rejoice. One place it said, think on things that are good. You ought to do that. Think on things that are good, lovely, honest report. Think on these things. Somebody said, walk by faith and not by sight. Don't let your hard times, don't let your lack of provisions as you see them, don't let your disappointments in life cause you to begin to complain against God. Because that's what you complain about. Because now you say God is not a good provider. That He don't keep you, that He don't watch over you. You sure that your heart is not in the right place with God, that He can't provide for you. You know? And then the last one, recap. So look back over what we talked about tonight. Recognize in your own heart, or in your own life, the place of complaint. Think about, are you a complainer? I have to look at myself, do I complain? I have to say yes. Yes. I think everybody here might say they have some kind of complaint. You might not say it out loud, but sometimes it's in your head.
That's right.
I complain today.
And what is it about? Because usually it's one area of your life you're always looking or thinking it should be different than it is. You need to identify that. Put that to rest. Begin to pray. Quit complaining about your journey, about where you are in life. Quit complaining about your leadership. Pray about all these things. Hold fast to the word of God. Walk and live by faith. In all things rejoice. Let the word say. So did we learn something tonight? Quit complaining. God don't like it. I don't want to be in the wrong place with God. I don't know about you.
All right.
And complaining is one of those things that will put you in the wrong place with God, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be in the wrong place with God because of your mouth, and you don't recognize what you're saying and what you're doing. You're unappreciative of your wonderful spouse you got. And you complain about, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, she didn't do this, and she didn't do that. No. Don't do that. Don't have that place of not being appreciative. Have a heart of gratitude. Be thankful unto the Lord and bless his holy name. Through whatever you're going through in life, wherever your hard times in life, whatever your circumstance in life, whatever your situation in life, decide tonight, I'm going to put away complaining and I'm going to look to the Lord. I'm going to begin to pray. I'm going to begin to intercede on this situation. I'm going to stop complaining and talk about how bad it is and be grateful for the good things that's going on in my life. See the goodness that's in it. Yes. Amen. We good.